Madeline. In an old house in Paris that was covered with vines lived 12 little girls in 2 straight lines. In 2 straight lines, they broke their bread and brushed their teeth and went to bed. They smiled at the good. Oh, there's a lady feeding a horse. And frowned at the bad. There's a thief and a police officer chasing him. And sometimes they were very sad. Well, it looks like there's a soldier and that he hurt his leg and that makes them feel sad. They left the house at 9:30 in 2 straight lines. In rain or shine. They all have balloons in that picture. The smallest one was Madeline. She was not afraid of mice. She loved winter, snow, and ice. To the tiger in the zoo, Madeline just said, "Pooh-pooh." Everyone else looks pretty scared of the tiger. And nobody knew so well how to frighten Miss Clavel. Do you see Madeline? She's walking on the edge there. And Miss Clavel is like, "Oh!" In the middle of one night, Miss Clavel turned on her light and said, "Something is not right." Little Madeline sat in bed, cried and cried. Her eyes were red. And soon after Dr. Cone came, he rushed out to the phone. And he dialed Danton 106. "Nurse," he said, "it's an appendix." Everybody had to cry. Not a single eye was dry. Madeline was in his arm, in a blanket, safe and warm. In a car with a red light, they drove out into the night. Madeline woke up 2 hours later in a room with flowers. Madeline soon ate and drank. On her bed there was a crank. And a crack on the ceiling had the habit of sometimes looking like a rabbit. That does look like a rabbit. I bet Madeline was looking at that a lot when she was laying in her bed. Outside were birds, trees, and sky, and so 10 days passed quickly by. Wow, that's a long time to be away, 10 days. One nice morning, Miss Clavel said, "Isn't this a fine day to visit Madeline?" They all go on some type of bus, and they're getting some flowers. "Visitors from 2 to 4, read a sign outside her door, tiptoeing with solemn face, with some flowers and a vase. Oh, there's one spot missing, Madeline's spot. In they walked and then said, "Ah," when they saw the toys and candy and the dollhouse from Papa. Well, Madeline's having a pretty nice time. But the biggest surprise by far, on her stomach was a scar. "Goodbye," they said, "we'll come again." And the little girls left in the rain. Do they look happy? Why do you think they might look sad? Maybe they miss Madeline? They went home and broke their bread. Oh, they still have sad faces. Brushed their teeth and went to bed. Their faces are still sad. In the middle of the night, Miss Clavel turned on the light and said, "Something is not right." And afraid of a disaster, Miss Clavel ran fast and faster. And she said, "Please, children, do tell me what is troubling you." And all the little girls cried, "Boo-hoo! We want to have our appendix out too." Aw. Do you get it? They saw Madeline in the hospital, and she looked like she was having such a nice time with candy and a dollhouse, and so they want to go and have candy in a dollhouse. They don't understand that Madeline had a surgery, so that probably hurt really bad. "Good night, little girls. Thank you, Lord, you are well, and now go to sleep," said Miss Clavell. And she turned out the light and closed the door, and that's all there is. There isn't any more. And that's a good point that Miss Clavell said. They should thank the Lord that they are well, that they don't have to go to the hospital. The end.